Hello and welcome to Sunday Sanctuary with me, Sarah. This idea sprang from a selfish reason, really, I suppose. I really wanted to have a moment on Sunday, which was a time to reflect, a time to tune into myself, calm down, and that was like a time slot that I would keep every single week for myself, and especially on Sunday, because I do find that it's a special day. It always feels like a special day to me, at least here in Amsterdam. Surprisingly, quite a lot of shops do stay closed on Sunday still. And there's just a slower pace. People are kind of ending the week. And the next day, people go back to work on Monday. So it's just slower. It's not crazy like Saturdays where people are kind of getting ready to go out and the atmosphere and energy is more hectic. So I'm happy that I'm doing this for myself and also for you. I know that there's so many of you that live really, really busy lives, and probably find it hard to carve out some space in your week to just spend with yourself, in order to reflect on your week, reflect on the events happening, and perhaps kind of like whilst making closure for the last week, inevitably then making more of an opening and hopefully more of a positive opening for the week to come, instead of a fraught one because you still are thinking about things from the last week, or you haven't got closure for last week. I've been racking my brains. This is obviously the first video that I'm recording, and I was thinking, okay, what shall I touch upon? And drawing stories from some clients, I was thinking maybe I should just talk about anxiety, or how we can deal with that, how we can start to heal ourselves. And that's a huge topic, and it's one I'm happy to address, maybe next time, or a little while down the line. But what started to come up was feeling. I wrote down on a piece of paper, where is it? How do I want people to feel? How would I like them to experience this? How would I like them to feel? And then what occurred to me was, well, it's quite something to actually feel in the first place. So it doesn't matter what I would like them to feel, but maybe we should just talk about feeling in general. And that kind of just stuck. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go with this. And then the first thing that came to my head, which is a song that speaks to me so much anyway, and has done in my own healing journey, is a song by Robbie Williams called Feel. And if you want to, you can like stop this video now and just listen to the music. I can't play it, unfortunately. I would, but my video won't get won't allow to be uploaded if I have music in the background. And I could sing, but I don't want you to turn off straight away. But the lyrics, just bear with me. Come on, hold my hand. I want to contact the living. Not sure I understand this role I've been given. I sit and talk to God and he just laughs at my plans. My head speaks a language I don't understand. I just want to feel real love, feel the home that I live in, because I got too much life running through my veins, going to waste. I don't want to die, but I ain't keen on living either. I don't know whether you guys have ever felt like that. But as I was listening to those lyrics, I was looking at my my bookshelf, and I picked out a book which actually made me want to become a coach, a life coach. It's a book by Martha Beck, and it's called Finding Your Own North Star: How to Claim the Life You Were Meant to Live. And in the very first paragraph of the introduction, I just read it and I was like, oh my God, that's me. So I'm going to read it to you. Right in the middle of my life, I realized I wasn't where I wanted to be. It was like I'd wandered off the right path into a very, very bad neighborhood. I don't even want to remember how scary that space was. It makes me feel like I'm going to die or something. I'm only telling you about it because a lot of good came out of it in the long run. So anyway, I don't even know how I ended up so far off course. I felt like I'd been sleepwalking. And that is literally what happened to me in 2015. So 2015, I went into some very murky waters and very dark corridors of my mind. I was 36, 35 in 2015, coming up to 36, I suppose. And I was in an advertising job that I suddenly I had no idea why I was in it. I didn't like selling to people at all. And I found myself at exhibitions and meetings very much kind of looking at people around me, thinking, why is everybody pretending? Why is everybody pretending that this like really matters? And people just seemed to have an act. And it just started to occur to me that I wanted to ask them, what makes you happy? What do you long to do in life? Or what do you love? Who are you? Like, who are you? Is anybody in there? And I just found everybody so robotic. And it just made me feel very different. I started to feel like I was just, that I didn't fit in, that there was something wrong with me. And when I started to feel that there was something wrong with me, that's kind of how I identify with Robbie Williams' lyrics when he says, I don't want to die, but I'm not keen on living either. I kind of even just started feeling like I was a burden to everybody around me, especially the closest people around me. And it was when I felt like that there was also a part of me that knew that that was really wrong. And that's when I found a therapist for the first time. And I didn't know how to describe how I felt. And so I showed her with my hands. And I remember this only because she reminded me just before I finished my therapy sessions with her. Apparently, one of the first things I did was I said, I just feel like my life is like this, and I want it to be like this. So everything was chaotic and out there in my life, in my mind, just probably in my house. And I just wanted to, hello, Nelson. I wanted everything to be aligned. I wanted to be aligned with who I was in my life. So that was the beginning of my therapy. And what really occurred to me, as well as many, many other things, was that we just are stuck up in our heads for our whole lives. We are thinking. And as children, when we do begin to feel, at least, when I was a child, I was being brought up by adults who, their emotions, my mother's emotions were very scary to me. My mum clearly didn't know how to handle her emotions because she smoked near enough 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And she was a kind of a functioning alcoholic, I'd say. I mean, she was absolutely incredible. She held down a very, very, you know, manually taxing job. And she brought up us two girls, me and my sister. She worked very hard and kept a household running. But she was always stressed. I remember stress being in the house, and a lot of anger, and that was suppressed with cigarettes and alcohol until the emotions kind of burst over the seams. You know, rage would quite often turn to tears. It was often when my mum wasn't drinking that I was more concerned, because if I came home from school and I found that she had a cup of tea next to her, I used to know that she'd be in a really bad mood. And if she had like a whiskey, then I knew that it would be okay, because she'd just leave me alone and I could just do what I wanted without her being angry or creating an atmosphere in the house. So when I had feelings as a child, I didn't have an adult to help me soothe myself. I didn't have an adult really that could soothe me. Yes, my mum would obviously embrace me at certain points when I was sad or hurt, but she couldn't help me soothe myself. So, of course, when I became old enough, I just copied my mum. That's what nature does. We copy, right? So I started smoking as soon as I could at 14, and I started drinking. And that became my way of coping with my feelings. If I had a strong feeling in my body that I didn't want to feel, I would smoke. I would drink that feeling away, or I would literally get so drunk that I wouldn't feel my body anymore. I wouldn't even know where I was anymore or who I was. So this became a habit until the age of 36, when I had decided, because I went to therapy and things had just become so kind of dark and tunneled in my mind. Like I could quite easily end up in my mind on a park bench alone, no family or friends. That's where my mind would take me. And so again, that's why I ended up in therapy. And then I wanted to give up smoking, and I wanted to stop drinking so much, but because I knew that they were very bad for my health. But when I started taking those coping mechanisms away, also, I must admit, I couldn't keep drinking the way that I had up until that point, because I didn't have the energy. So the hangovers were starting to be unbearable. And the smoking, I knew that what I was doing was like really bad. My mum died of lung cancer when I was 21 and she was 49. So I just knew I couldn't keep doing these things that were so bad to my health. And so as I took away my coping mechanisms, my feelings obviously started coming up. And this is now taking me to another excerpt of a book, which is by an author called Glennon Doyle. And she wrote a book called Untamed: Stop Pleasing, Start Living. And there is this one paragraph called Feel, which I'm going to read. Key 1, feel it all. On my 6th day of sobriety, I went to my 5th recovery meeting. I sat in a cold plastic seat, trembling, trying to keep the coffee from spilling out of the paper cup and my feelings from spilling out of my skin. For 16 years, I had made damn sure that nothing touched me. And suddenly, everything in the world was touching me. I was an exposed nerve. Everything hurt. I was embarrassed to tell anyone how much I hurt, but I decided to try to explain to the people in that circle. They were the first people I trusted with all of me, because they were the first people I ever heard tell the whole truth. They had shown me their insides, so I showed them mine. I said something like, I'm Glennon, and I've been sober for 6 days. I feel awful. I think this awfulness is why I started drinking in the first place. I'm starting to worry that what was wrong with me wasn't the drinking at all. It was what was underneath it. It was me. It doesn't seem like being alive is as hard for other people as it is for me. It just feels like there's some kind of secret to life I don't know, like I'm doing it all wrong. Thanks for listening. After the meeting ended, a woman walked over and sat down next to me. She said, "Thanks for sharing. I relate. I just wanted to tell you something that somebody told me in the beginning. It's okay to feel all of that stuff that you're feeling. You're just becoming human again. You're not doing life wrong. You're doing it right. And if there's any secret you're missing, it's that doing it right is just really hard. Feeling all your feelings is hard, but that's what they're there for. Feelings are for feeling, all of them, even the hard ones. The secret is that you're doing it right, and that doing it right hurts sometimes." And that's it, really. Feelings are there to be felt. And ever since we were little, we've been told to stop crying. Big girls don't cry. Boys don't cry. Put your chin up. Soldier on. Mind over matter. Gosh, what else? Actually, the beach ball analogy comes to mind. You know, if you've got one of those big bouncy beach balls and you were to put it in the water and then put your hand on it and try to make it go underneath, you know, the more the pressure that you put on top of it to go underneath the water, it's equally going to push back up until it will just explode. And that's what happened to me actually in 2015. And it was a shit show. It really, really was. And I hope that I've gone through a major shit show for a very good reason. And let that reason be that you don't have to get there the way that I did. I hope that by me beginning to share more of what happened to me, it will enable you to take ownership of yourself and all that encompasses before you have to have a shit show. I think I was just very stubborn and I wasn't listening to my body in any way. And that's why I got to such an extreme state, I suppose, even though that was my journey and it was the way that I had to quite literally come to my senses. But with regards to all of this stuff that lies underneath the repressed emotions, the sadness that you haven't felt, the rage that you haven't been allowed to feel and to process, everything is kind of lying here underneath the surface, you know, like there's an iceberg, and if this is underneath the iceberg, ooh, the iceberg is so big underneath. Imagine if it just encompasses like the whole of my trunk, and then this is the bit that you can see, your conscious mind. What lurks underneath is basically what is controlling you, but you're just not aware of it. So one of my posts that I made in the week was about triggers. And when you're triggered, you don't have a memory you have a reaction. So a trigger, you don't have a memory of why you're being triggered. It's just your reaction to a trigger. But the memory is down here. The why is down here. And with regards to getting in contact with our feelings again, it's no wonder that we are clever and we create different ways to kind of stay safe, right? That's what we're actually doing. If we were to feel our feelings when we weren't ready, then we would be completely shattered, overwhelmed, probably would go insane. So smoking, drinking, shopping, porn, oh my God, what else? Just anything that you do to numb, let's not shame ourselves for it. That's kept us alive. But when we want to get to a point in life where, well, when we just get to a point of like life or death, where we just want to start living differently and we want to experience peace, and we're done with the drama, we're done with other people's drama, our own drama, and we just, we can't keep going like that. We can't keep going in survival mode. That's when we will start having to feel our feelings. And what helps is for there to be a process for that. Because as I said earlier, I wasn't taught that. I was just taught to actually detach from my feelings in my body. You most likely were as well if you're watching this. So our body is with us 24/7, and so is our breath. And in this next 10 minutes, probably gone a bit over time, I'm just going to guide us through a mindfulness exercise, like a body scan, so that we can come into the body and see what wisdom might lay here for us today when we're with it and listening. So if I can just invite you to close your eyes, whether you're sitting or lying down, that's fine. Whatever is comfortable for you. And just becoming aware of your breath already. So it helps to close the eyes so that you can then start to focus on what's happening with you internally. And all you have to do is just listen to my voice as I guide you. So with eyes closed, maybe for comfort, you want to put one hand on your stomach and one hand on your heart. If that feels good, if that feels comforting, please do that. And if not, you can just put your hands either on your thighs, or you can put them either side of your legs, palms facing up, in receiving mode. You're here to receive now. So let's just connect to the breath. Not trying to change your breath in any way. Let's just notice, first of all, perhaps the feeling of air going in through your nostrils when you're breathing in through your nose. And when you breathe air out of your nostrils, when you exhale, notice how the air is warmer coming out and cooler as it goes in. Just focus on those sensations. We're using your breath now as an entry point, an access point to the body. Just focusing on your breath in through your nose, out through your nose or out through your mouth, whatever feels comfortable. And now if you want to just focus on your stomach, let's just breathe deeply into the stomach, not just shallowly into the chest. But if you notice babies or animals, they all breathe into their belly. The chest breathing is like survival mode. To get more oxygen circulating in our systems, we need to be breathing into our bellies. And this also helps to calm our nervous system, calm us down with the breath, using the breath as an anchor. So as you breathe into your stomach, just notice how it fills up with air and expands. And as you breathe out, just feel your tummy button moving close to your spine. And just enjoy the sensation of this, breathing in and out, and in and out. Just see if you can take a little bit of a longer breath in. So maybe you can do like it's called a box breathing. So breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, breathe in for 4. Just try this kind of rhythm. See how that works for you. You can play with different numbers, maybe breathing in for 5, or maybe even just 3. There's no right way, just your way. If you notice that you're going up into thoughts, it's okay. This will happen many, many times. If you notice that you're just focusing on a thought, just move your attention back to your breath again. Maybe a sensation again. Maybe that cold air going in through your nostrils and the warmer air coming out. And now just put your attention on the tips of your toes. Just give them a wiggle. Just become aware of your feet. We don't often acknowledge our feet, but they carry us pretty much everywhere we need to go. And they're the furthest point away from our head. So with our attention on our toes, I want you to travel all the way up your body to the top of your head. And just become aware that you are in all of your body, not just your head. And as we're saying that, just rub your thumbs against your fingertips. This is another extremity of your body. Become aware of the palms of your hands, the soles of your feet, the crown of your head. Become aware of your neck, your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers, your palms. Then travel up your arms again. Let's just move up the neck. Let's go around our jaw. Put your attention all around your face. See if you can relax your face a little bit. Maybe you're holding tension around your eyebrows or your forehead. See if you can just relax your eyes, your forehead a little bit. Relax your jaw. Just let go a little bit more. And see if you can feel your body a little bit heavier on the chair or the sofa or the floor, whatever surface is underneath you. Just feel the solidity of that right now under you. And I want you to become aware of the fact that whatever you're sitting on, whether it's a chair or a sofa, that's connected to the floor of the building that you're in. And the floor of the building that you're in is resting on the earth. And the earth has been supporting you every single day of your life. And it's never let you down. And it's supporting you right now. Please just feel into the safety of that, the supportiveness of that. And almost kind of push your weight down to meet the support of the earth below you. Again, sometimes we're so much floating up in our head, we forget about the feeling of ourselves on this earth, supported by the earth in every single way. So with a more relaxed head, more grounded, perhaps heavier in our body now that we're actually feeling in our body, let's just move down from the neck, feel into your chest, all around your back, moving down your diaphragm, down to your belly. Any areas that you're feeling any tension, stress, tiredness, maybe just put your hands there as you would like a little child. If it's hurting you, you put your hands there for energy. Your energy helps to warm that area, comfort that area, send attention to that area. Do that to yourself. This can really help with anxiety in the belly, by the way. Just to place your awareness in terms of, your thoughts, but also your hands. They are extensions of our heart. Let's use them on ourselves, not just others, especially on ourselves. And that way we really help to soothe our bodies, soothe our feelings, allow them, but assist them at the same time. So we're not suppressing them, but slowly, slowly on this journey of coming back to our senses and our bodies, we can really learn to help ourselves. I know it's such a cliche that feeling is healing. It is so true, but we have to know how to be with ourselves in that. Once we start to feel safe and slow down, it's possible to feel without that old feeling that we're going to be overwhelmed. It's very old. And it's not true. We can do hard things when we know how. And when we begin to trust ourselves. This is all a process. We're all in a process. Every single one of us. Otherwise, I don't believe that we'd be here in this huge school. And there's a lot going on in our world. But I know for sure that we'll never have peace outside if we don't first have it inside. And knowing that we can't change anyone else, a pretty good place to start is with us, right? And we can do that now, step by step, all together. None of us are in this alone. All going through the same things. Be it at slightly different times and in very different ways, because it's not supposed to be the same. We're all different for very good reasons. So, just coming into the room that you're in now, from this inner journey, this inner taster session. Just open up your eyes, coming into the room. And perhaps reflect on, what am I not feeling that needs to be felt? Get really honest with yourself. What do you need to be feeling which needs to be felt? And if I were to say that, like, your feelings were a small child that wants your attention, would you just put that child in a cupboard, in a closet? Would you just make the child disappear? No. You have to listen, show compassion, acceptance. And this small child is like your feelings. Your feelings have been trying to get your attention for your whole life. And now is the perfect moment to start feeling them so that you can actually start navigating your life in a clear, open, and true fashion. Because your feelings have all the wisdom for you, and they will help you navigate your path very differently than you have in the past. So what do you need to feel? What messages are coming from your body? I'm going to leave that with you to reflect on. And if you want to have a copy of my grounding guide, please just DM me on Instagram or send me a message on YouTube, and I will send you a free copy of my grounding guide to help you live more grounded, in balance from your center. So I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you next Sunday.